Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 8th episode of James Squared. Be sure to subscribe, follow Halos in the Infield on YouTube and Believe, as well as on Instagram, X. Fernando does a great job on X with the questions of the day to start your day. And also on Facebook, check out the Halos in the Infield group. That thing's been on fire as of late. And then shout out to our awesome sponsors, Noble Ale Works at 1621 Sinclair Street B, and I'm California, of course. Definitely I got to get in there, try some of their new pints. I got to get in there and try that. And also go to 714 Tickets. Oh, you missed the cue.
714 tickets, 714 tickets. Sorry, I got a message on my phone.
Okay, at 2620 East Catella Avenue, because I'm not singing. Please put in the code HITI for how much off? 10%, James?
Yeah, I believe it's 10%, which works out to be, because I was just trying to buy tickets on 714 tickets for opening night, and it was roughly about $3 off your ticket.
I got to get mine. That's for sure. Yeah. It's going to be a fun night, or fun nights and a day at the ballpark this upcoming weekend. Make sure you put in that code. Yeah, this is weird to say that. So we're going to recap the opening series that happened in Baltimore and Miami, and I'll tell you what, James, coming into this season, I thought, man, the pitching is just going to be, it's going to be brutal. And it looked like that the first two games. I mean, let's start off with opening day, last Thursday. Sandoval, he lasted, an inning and 1/3? He just did not look well. Corbin Burns pitched well. Baltimore won 11-3. Just overpowered the Angels, and it didn't get any better the next day, or the next game, as they had Friday off. Baltimore won 13-4. They had a 9-run 6th inning. It was just awful.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah. I could say, hey, Trout homered at least in the first game, but that was pretty much it. Sandoval went to. And then Suarez got drilled. That second game, counting wasn't too bad, but it wasn't enough. And then Luis Garcia. Luis Garcia is just awful. I know he did get a save in the Miami series, but Zanija was taxed as well, leading to that 9-run 6th inning and the 13-4 win. Third game was fun at first. Ward had the home run. He's been starting well at the dish this year. With 2 homers, maybe another one, 4 driven in, and maybe more, at least in that series. Neto had an RBI single, but not much after that. Luckily, Reed Detmers really stepped up. I mean, that was just good stuff. He looked really decent. He should use his curveball more often. I'll tell you what, that strike 3 pitch to Mullins was nasty as hell. I mean, he got Mullins high-stepping in the batter's box on that curveball. It was great to see. And you have to give credit to Jose Soriano. He was solid in his 3 inning of work on Sunday. Remember, in the spring, he was, working on being a starter, so he pitched multiple innings. Estevez got his first save with no drama. So what do you think about that series in Baltimore, James? Just like, man, the first 2 games were awful. And then somehow the Angels pulled out a Sunday win to avoid the sweep with the Orioles.
Well, like every other Angels fan, I was thinking, here we go again. Historically, we don't do well the very first game of the season, somebody else's opening day, most of the time because we're on the road. So I was like, everybody was excited in the win. We had our win taken out of ourselves, and then I had to take a nap because I was so emotionally drained after that, because I get fully invested in the very first game of the season, and to be let down again, that was disappointing. But, we're used to it as Angels fans. And then the second game, Canning pitched pretty well up until a point, then it all fell apart with that 9-run inning, and then it was all downhill from there. But something happened after those two games. You know what that was, James?
A meeting after
a
the
team meeting.
Yeah.
A team meeting. Ron Washington rallied the troops, got everybody together. Who knows what he said, but it worked. Because that third game, Detmers pitched the game of his life, or at least for Detmers, a great game that got the current 4-game winning streak going. And it seems like it worked because everybody was doing their part. We came out with some runs, and then eventually the pitching showed up, and then Detmers pitched a hell of a game. The bullpen locked it down. Estevez, I believe, or Estevez, closed it out, and then we started winning games after that. I mean, that whole Baltimore series, we could have got swept easily because that team is really, really good. They're expected to win the AL East this year. So I'm quite content with taking, I would rather have had the series, but, at least we didn't get swept. And then, we'll talk about the Marlins here in a second. But that series didn't look good for the Angels at all. I thought this was, here we go again. We're going to start the season right out the gate like we usually do. Recent years we've been doing better at the start of the season. But I thought this was going to be the start of another long losing streak. But you know what? Ron Washington, whatever he said in that meeting, it worked. And hopefully we keep it going, The Orioles could have steamrolled that whole series because they're really, really good. And, Rendon leading off, not the business.
He hasn't had a hit since last July, I want to say.
Somebody's hit, Adolis Garcia has hit 29 homers since Rendon's last hit. Let that sink in.
That's brutal. I know he did get a walk, I want to say in Miami. Let's transition over to that Miami series. So, looking at the first game of that series on Monday, and I thought to myself, it would be awesome if there was an ounce of vengeance, some revenge, need some get back, right? Because last year in, I believe, May, the Angels were swept by the Miami Marlins at the Big A. I was there, or we were there that Sunday up in the suite, thanks to Fernando, I believe. And that was just brutal going through that. But, man, I felt so good about Silseth starting. But he gave up 4 runs right away in the first inning. Max Meyer was coming off Tommy John. He did get his first start for them for Miami, but he looked okay up until Trout got him twice, or he got him at least once. Once. The one Trout hit out of his 2 home runs, the second one, it was the longest at Marlins Park. And when you think about that, it's something because Giancarlo Stanton has 3 of the longest, and then there was another person. But Trout hit one, I think it was 478, I want to say. It landed on top of it
was 473.
473. It was on top of the whatever the stuff is out there in left center.
Whatever.
I just couldn't believe that. That's like one of those batting practice or home run derby home runs. That was just ridiculous. Ward also doubled. Hoppy somehow got a triple. That was amazing. But Adele drove in 1, Hicks as well. Shanuel had 2, and Ward had 1 as well. And it was cool seeing Neto and Shanuel's family there in Florida. Both have ties to Florida. So that was really great to see. I'm worried about Seth and his 3 innings of work. He gave up those 4 runs. 3 were earned, but he walked 2. He did strike out 5. I'm hoping he comes out better. Cicero came in and did pretty well. Suarez didn't do as well. But we got to see Matt Moore for the first time, and he had a shutout inning and 1 strikeout in his inning of work. And then Estevez got his second save of that first game. Now, the second game, I was looking at this one, I was looking at Tyler Anderson thinking, like, man, he's got to work on his changeup. Like, there's got to be something better for him. He's got to be careful with that non-fast fastball that he has. And then, Jesus Luzardo is starting for Miami. He's decent. But, man, did he ever get hit up, it seemed like, in Game 2 yesterday, or on Tuesday, I will say. Aaron Hicks had that solo home run to right field the opposite way. He really powered that ball out. That was amazing to see for the Angels. Yeah, some people didn't know that was gone. I guess that pull out there makes it a little awkward. Ohapi and Neto both doubled. Hicks had 2 RBIs. Ward had another. Ward is just on something right now. Tuesday had going into Wednesday, he had 6 RBIs. The Angels won that game 3-1. By the way, on Monday they won 7-4. So they held on there, some clutch pitching, and then Wednesday was just an adventure. And I remember saying on the podcast on Monday morning when it came out, at the end I was thinking to myself, and I blurted out, I was thinking, a sweep would be nice. I think I said think sweep. And I was just going for the Rally Chris special like everyone else, saying 2 out of 3. But at the end I said think sweep Angels. And guess what? The Angels won 10-2 today, or Wednesday. Taylor Ward had a solo shot. I mean, was it Neto had a base hit or RBI? And then you have to talk about Patrick Sandoval and how big he came up today. 5 2/3 innings, 2 runs, given up only 4 hits, 2 walks, but he struck out 7. You never see that from Sandoval. And it's just like Anderson. I think Todd mentioned this on one of his post-game shows, which I hope people tune into on all the platforms, by the way. That's a great deal. You can just find him anywhere and comment anywhere. He'll read your comments and the phone calls. Love it when Artie calls in. But Sandoval, and Anderson, if he's under 2 walks or under 3 or less walks, they're going to find success. And on this getaway day, it really, really happened. And I was not expecting that whatsoever by Sandoval. And I was telling myself, hey, he's got to at least go 4 innings and redeem himself from opening day and not tax the bullpen and get after AJ Puke or Pook, whatever his name, Puck. Cisnero came in and got an out. And then you have to look at I'm going to say Zuniga. I'm not saying it the other way. He had 3 innings. Sure, you said it.
Zuniga, yeah.
Yeah, 3 innings of work. He had a strikeout. But after that, I mean, there was no hits, no runs given up, no walks. And I was telling people that Zuniga, he had some devastating stuff, like 98 plus on the fastball, a little off-speed pitch, and he made the team over, Hunter Strickland and Ben Joyce, and that was great to see. Some other notes from this game: Rengifo, before he left, he had 2 RBIs. He left the game. He felt lightheaded, and I wonder if he made the team playing going back today on this.
It was probably. I'm thinking it was dehydration because
that's what I'm saying.
80 to 90% humidity during that whole series. You can see the sweat coming through those beautiful new uniforms.
Oh God, that's even with the roof
cheap uniforms.
Are the Marlins that cheap that they don't run their air conditioning or something? That's the weirdest thing. But I'll tell you what, Rengifo, Ward, Sanu, and Neto all had 2 RBIs today. I mean, that's just amazing to me. Again, Ward had the home run. Oh, no, they all had doubles. I'm sorry. They all had doubles. All their second doubles. Adele did have 2 RBIs with Neto and Ohapi. Drury had 1. Drury finally got an RBI. It feels like he's kind of...
He's been hitting the ball hard, but he hasn't really been bringing guys in. But
so Adele, Drury, Neto, Ohapi, Shanuel all had 1 RBI today, and Ward had 2 to make it 8. He's one of the league leaders, I would think, with 8 RBIs. So Miami goes to 0-7. The Angels go to 4-2. Before I give it to you, I made a bet with a friend from another network. I hope you'll never see him, but I said if the Angels go 4-2, and this was after Saturday's game against Baltimore, right? I said, hey, if the Angels go 4-2 on this first road trip, I'll go to every day game the Angels have in April. And guess what? They did it. What'd you think of this Miami series?
Well, it was impressive because, this Miami team, they aren't slouches, even though we made them look like slouches. They have a lot of great hitters. They have Arise, Chisholm, and they have, or Jazzy, as they like to call him, Tim Anderson. A lot of good hitters in this lineup, and we just made them look like they were inferior. It was a good series. I was very impressed with the pitching. Very impressed with Tim Anderson's start. He went like full 7 innings, and that's unheard of for this version of Tyler Anderson. He doesn't make it past 4 or 5 innings usually, and that's a very good sign. We got Dodgers Tyler Anderson yesterday. That was good to see because we're all rooting for him as Angels fans. He plays for our team, so we want him to do well in our rotation. Mike Trout with those 2 monster homers, he's breaking out. Watch out if he does break out. He's hitting them well over 300 right now. I know it's early, but you got to be excited for how Mike Trout's hitting the ball. He's still striking out a little bit too much, but he's older now. So
it's all or nothing with Trout, it seems like, at the plate. It's been like that. It's bad.
Absolutely. He's also the king of the solo home run.
Yeah.
I call him the king of the solo homer because that's what he is. Both those homers were solo homers. Yeah. We need to get guys on base. But another thing, we had Rendon leading off the whole series except for today's game, the very last game, Wednesday's game. And guess what? It was Luis Rengifo in that number 1 spot, and he doubles to begin the game.
Well, of course, I didn't see that. I was getting some dental work, so I did not
lead off
hear
game.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, benching Rendon was a good move by Ron Washington. That remains to be seen. He's probably going to be back there for the home series. I hope not, because he's not a good leadoff hitter. I understand why they put him in that spot, because he can take a walk. He can get on base.
Yeah.
When he wants to, but he's either a strikeout machine or a ground out machine or a fly out machine. Bat him lower in the lineup. I think you bat him. I guess that takes away at bats from Ohapi or Neto, but he belongs lower in that lineup, not at leadoff.
Malou, and a lot of other people would agree. I'm trying to figure out why would you put him at leadoff when he's not a speedster?
That's another thing. Ron Washington trusts him that much to get on base. I think he thinks he's gonna maybe take that walk, maybe a base hit. It's sure not for his speed, so I don't get that either. But it hasn't been working. He was like 0 for 17, I believe. So between the 2 series, and just not a good idea. But overall, the team looked very good in the series. We were hitting the ball. We were playing all aspects of the game. We were playing defense. We were getting the timely hitting. We were pitching. The relief corps looks good. We were getting saves. Total different team than the whole Baltimore series, with the
Milu,
exception of the last game.
let me
Yeah.
ask you this. In that second game, do you know why Garcia was closing and not Estevez? Was it because Estevez worked 2 days in a row?
He threw 12 pitches, and they decided not to go to him.
Okay.
He was unavailable because I was reading Jeff Fletcher's tweets during that time.
Thank
I
you.
wondered
wondering.
the same thing. It's because he pitched the day prior and the day before that. So he only threw 12 pitches. I don't get it. Todd has a big problem with that too.
And
We went through the same thing last year when Nevin was the manager. Just pitch these guys. Analytics gets in the way of these decisions. Pitch him. If he feels good, let him pitch. And what happens? Luis Garcia gives up a home run. And we would have had a shutout.
That was right down the middle too. I mean, it was 98, which is great, but it was literally right down the middle to whomever. That really, I didn't like that because I just knew, okay, where the hell is Estevez? And you want to keep winning no matter what.
I thought we were going to blow it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I thought, here we go, blow pin in full effect, but that wasn't the case. I was glad he retired the next two guys. So, very happy with that. Then, we go into today's game, sweep. We pound them, and that's what we need to do. I don't know if this is going to be a, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of team again, but, I think Ron Washington has these guys ready to play, and we're going to see them continue to be ready from whatever he told them. So we'll see. We'll see this next series. We have Boston coming up. It's at home. I don't know. I'm not sold on this team yet. It's still way too early. Too early. I still get excited. We all do, but I'm trying to take a wait and see approach this season.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Okay, I'm going to counterpoint and just say, hey, the Marlins are that bad. But the Marlins, of course, lost 4 straight to Pittsburgh at home. And now they lose 3 straight to the Angels. And maybe it was just Miami being that bad. Again, they're losing a lot of starting pitching to injury, and one's coming back who's not ready yet, Sixto Sanchez. And then they just have an influx of hitters that don't really mesh together. And then the thing that you mentioned before we came on was Luis Arraez not having an impact in this series. I mean, that was something in itself, a game within a game. And maybe, we don't know, but maybe they really keyed on the coaching, the pitching staff, maybe keyed on, say, hey, we have to get him out to start the game, to start the lineup. Got to get him out first, and nobody else can do what they want to do. So maybe that was something. Maybe this team is learning something. We'll see. But as we mentioned, we're going to preview and predict the home opener series with Boston and Tampa Bay. The Angels have off on Thursday, of course, the 4th, and then April 5th. We all should be there. We'll see. The Red Sox come to town fresh off a series win in Oakland, in which they had to fight some series to win, or some games to win. I think today they won only 1-0 up in Oakland. The rest of the series was pretty tough. Did you know this, Malou, that the Oakland A's have 15 errors in the first games? 15 errors. Man, I can't wait to play Oakland. But that won't be until, I think, June.
They'll have it figured out
July.
Before then, I'm sure.
July. Oh, no, yeah, it is in June. At the end of June.
No matter what the Oakland A's do, they always seem to beat us, or we play close games. So I'm not completely sold on that, because they always play us well regardless of what their record is or how they're doing or whatever. We always play close games. That's just the way it is.
We'll go with the pitching matchup on Friday. Griffin Canning hoping to make up for his start in Baltimore. I know he wasn't too bad, but he still got the loss.
Right.
For Boston, it will be again Cutter with a K. We'll see if he throws a cutter. Cutter Crawford, he had a no decision and 7 strikeouts in his first start. That's Friday night. And for those of you out of region, it will be on MLB Network on Friday. So check that out. Saturday the 6th, and both of these games are at 6:38. Saturday's not 6, it's 6:38. Garrett Whitlock with a win already and 8 strikeouts will go up against Detmers, who has a win and 7 strikeouts. The Sunday finale of this series will be Tanner Howick. He also has a win. He struck out 10 of his opponents. I'm trying to remember who they played. Chase Silseth, trying to avenge his start from Monday, will go on Sunday afternoon, and maybe I'll be there. Well, with the bet, I have to be there.
Every home game, James. I mean, every home game.
I'm not, yeah. I'm doing that
Every day
because it's
game.
cheaper. Because it's cheaper. That's why I'm doing that. So the Tampa Bay series, I guess we can get into it, but there's no probable pitchers for Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So I guess we'll hold off on that and just preview the Boston series. Now again, they came off as we look at the. I'll look at the standings real quick because the Angels, of course, 4-2, tied with Texas first place. It's weird seeing Houston down there 2-5, despite the fact they had someone throw a no-hitter on Tuesday night. It's just crazy to me. Boston coming in red hot at 5-2, second place to only the hottest team in town or in the area, the New York Yankees, who are 6-1. I think they swept the Astros on the weekend. Did the Yankees, but Boston, of course.
4 games.
Oh, okay.
4-game sweep.
Yeah, it was 4 games. Okay, that's what I thought. Oakland coming in again. They have tomorrow off, but yeah, they swept the Oakland A's. They won 9-0 on Monday, 5-4 on Tuesday, and then 1-0 on Wednesday. So they're coming in with the day off, just like the Angels. They split to start the season a 4-game series up in Seattle. That's where they were, where starting pitching did pretty well. Looking at the scores, so. For me, Malou, for this series, I think the Red Sox are going to have their Rally Chris special. They're pitching despite not having the names and trading away Chris Sale. And we're going to miss Bello on this homestand from Boston. But my guess is they'll get the Rally Chris special. Maybe the Angels win on Sunday. Try to avoid the sweep. What do you think how the series will go versus Boston?
Well, they definitely have better starting pitching. So it's Canning to start it off. If he gets off to a start like he did in Baltimore, it's game over. Can't do that against this staff. The big names aren't there anymore, but they do have some really good hitters like Devers. So, and Yoshimada, I think, and then a couple other guys. They still have Dahlbeck and a couple of those other guys. But I think this series is going to be tougher for the Angels than, let's say, the Marlins. I think they play in the AL East, as you know, with the Orioles and the Yankees, so they're a little more seasoned than the Marlins are. I think your interpretation, or you're right when they say 2 out of 3 is probably pretty good. So
it's unfortunate.
I mean, they have it's unfortunate, but yeah, I was saying the Red Sox take 2 out of 3, but they're not the Red Sox of old. So if there's any advantage there or saving grace, that would be it. They're a little weaker than in past years. We just got to continue hitting the ball and pitching good. It's all about starting pitching. It's all about timely hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about the bullpen. The bullpen's good this year. I think we have the arms down there. We don't have to worry about the blow pin as often this year. There's going to blow
Hopefully not.
some games,
Yeah.
but it's all about the starting pitching. And I'm hoping Silseth comes through. He's got to have a little bit of a better start, too. And he knows Detmers. The one thing I'll say about Detmers, he did say that he took something off of his slider. And people aren't catching up to it because it's not as quick as it was the last couple of years. And he took something off of that, so some miles per hour. So that's why he's doing a little bit better. It was only the first start. That remains to be seen, but we'll see. But this series, yeah, your prediction is good. 2 out of 3, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the averages, and it looks like Devers and Dahlbeck have yet to get a hit in
Right.
their at bats. Yoshida as well is 0 for 2, but Trevor Story,
Yeah,
Trevor Story,
Yoshida, not Yamamata or whatever I said. Yoshida. I always forget his name. Yoshida.
Trevor Story is hitting 600 to start this season, and you almost forget that he's a Red Sox. He rarely plays. He's been injured the last 2 to 3 years since he signed that deal with Boston. It seems like, and then being in Colorado, he's had some injury issues. But he's coming out of the gate real hot, and it's really unfortunate. The Angels are right here. His OPS is 1,600, which is amazing to me. So look out for Trevor Story. Hopefully the off day messes him up, but he has 3 RBIs, so many hits. Yeah, 4 out of 5 hits. I want to at bats. So he's been awesome. Or 3 out of 5, I should say. So look out for Trevor Story for this series. But hopefully they can tame him. Knowing that he's a veteran of the team, and just like Devers, they can somehow get him out. I'm liking definitely the direction of the Angels so far. Just righting the ship a bit. I don't know how many meetings Ron Washington is going to have, but
hopefully not too many.
As long as it works, I'm fine with that. But we'll end the show with what you did today. And I was able to go on Facebook. I couldn't take a nap after everything. My, jaw, my freaking pain is hurting with my teeth. But I saw you at the batting cages. And I haven't done that since 2009, I want to say. But how was that to end the show? How was that feeling going out there and taking some swings in the cage?
Felt good. First of all, I got to stay ready in case the Angels need another hitter.
There you go.
In case I get called up, I'm always taking, I haven't been to the cages since 2019, I think. So I have, I'm playing in a high school alumni game. I'm almost 45 years old. Keep that in mind. I've been invited to play in the alumni game. So I'm taking some hacks, taking some swings out there. And let me tell you, I was tired after that first round, but I kept going because I got to get ready. Someone told me I had to keep my hands up. That's something I haven't heard in years. So
somebody also said the knob of the bat to the strike zone, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I know I just play softball. I haven't done fast pitching forever. Like, I'm a good softball player.
I enjoy it.
But
I've played softball.
Hardball I haven't done. I probably can't catch up to anything. How fast were those pitches? I was gonna ask. I forgot to ask you during the live on YouTube. Facebook.
So I started out in the 50-mile-an-hour cage. I took about maybe 20 or 30 hacks in there. That I switched to the 60-mile-an-hour cage. It was a little bit faster because these kids I'm going to be facing, they pitch about 70. So I have to make sure I have to catch before I start there. I didn't make it to the 70-mile-an-hour cage, by the way. I ended at 60, but I got to, reteach myself how to catch up to a hard ball. So
work up to it.
I did pretty good. I need I'm still herky jerky. I haven't batted forever, so I need to place my hands where they're supposed to be and my feet, my stance. I was batting even left-handed. I'm not even really a switch hitter, but
I saw
I
that.
take some hacks. Yeah. So it was a good experience, and I love getting out to the cages. Haven't been in years, but it's always a good feeling. We can take some hacks. And if you're ever angry or emotional about something, go to the cages. You take out your aggression on that ball, and it's the greatest feeling. And you feel like you're playing baseball again. So it's a win-win. And I enjoyed my time, even though I got tired.
Like I mentioned, hey, if I'm ever up there, which I don't know if I'll ever be again, but if I'm ever there during the week, I'll definitely come join you. Or we'll just find a park. I got all these damn hard balls.
I need to practice. Yeah,
I'll throw you some, and we'll get a game going. Because I could pitch. I don't know if I can hit, but I could pitch the hard ball. I'll put some breaking, give you some breaking ball stuff. See what the kids are throwing. Now, are you facing? Okay, this is a dumbass question, but you're facing the high school kids.
High school kids.
Oh
yeah.
boy, I would.
So and I haven't played baseball, hardball in 20-something years. So it's gonna be an adventure.
I don't
know.
Awful.
I'll probably just take a couple swings or something. I don't know. Play the field a bit. I was an outfielder. I don't know. I played softball for a number of years after my career ended in high school, and I was a little better at softball than I was at hardball. But yeah, I kind of retired around 2009. So yeah.
I just have an itch to play, but I just don't really have the time, or I just don't think about it as much. But eventually I get an itch to play, and I'll find some softball games going on and just do it. And our softball game Heedy did, that was pretty cool to see, but I want to do some more. Hopefully we'll do some more. I guess we'll end it on that, but make sure everybody please subscribe and follow to Halos on the Infield on YouTube, Believe, as well as Instagram, on X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. And shout out again to our awesome sponsors, Noble Ale Works and
714 tickets. 714 tickets.
Be sure.
Go tonight.
I forgot about that. Be sure to put in that 10% off code HITI. Hey, the Angels are coming home this weekend.
We're coming home, baby. Yeah. Get out to the Big A. I know some people have mixed feelings about coming out to the stadium, but we don't. We're going to be there. So come on out. Enjoy the team for what it is. No expectations this year. No Shohei. They are who they are. They're kind of like a no frills team. So come out and support your Halos.
That's how I'm looking at it. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see this thing that I think it was the Angels or somebody posted that they want to give a standing ovation to Anthony Rendon in his first at bat?
But you know what they're basing that off of? Trey Turner in the postseason last year, those Philly fans. Yeah, right. I'm guessing that's what they're doing. Is that right?
That's right.
They're trying to give encouragement. Look, I don't even have to be on X. I mean, I was during opening day or whatever, just for fun. I was in people's, commenting on people's tweets or whatever they're called, posts now. But I can just guess. But I will not be doing that for sure. I'm good. We'll leave it here. Be sure to check out James Squared, the 9th episode next time. We're going to recap the series with the Red Sox and Rays, and then preview the next road trip the Angels have that go to Boston and much more. And we'll get to that another time. Take care, folks. Be sure to subscribe again to Halos on the Infield anywhere on social media, and Believe Network for all the podcast forums. Later, folks.
Go Halos, baby. See you out at the Big A on Friday night. Can't wait.